Let me tell you a short story. A few years ago, my friend Jack started investing. He watched a few YouTube videos, read some tweets, and felt ready. The market was going up. Everyone was excited. He bought some stocks, tech, crypto, whatever was trending. And guess what? He made money. In 1 week, he doubled his account. He smiled and said, "Wow, this is easy. Why doesn't everyone do this?" But 1 month later, everything crashed. The market changed. Prices dropped fast. Jack didn't know what to do. He held on, then sold in fear. In the end, he lost more than he made. Jack wasn't stupid. He wasn't even greedy. He was just missing something important. He didn't know the rules. Now let's stop and ask, why do so many smart people lose money in the market? Is it luck? Is the market just random? No. The market has rules. It may feel wild or confusing sometimes, but behind the noise it follows patterns. There are reasons why prices go up. There are reasons why they go down. And if you don't take time to learn those reasons, you are not investing. You are gambling. Think about it like this. Would you play a sport you've never learned? Would you walk into a chess game without knowing how pieces move? Of course not. But every day, thousands of people throw money into the market without knowing how it works. They follow TikTok tips. They copy some guru. They feel lucky after one win and think they've figured it out. But the market doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your hopes. It cares about one thing, logic. You can win, yes. You can even win big. But only if you know what game you're playing and how to play it smart. So in this episode, we'll talk about those rules. Not just the technical ones, but the emotional ones. The hidden patterns. The mental traps. The quiet truths most people ignore. Because if you want to win in the market, you need more than money. You need clarity. You need discipline. And you need to understand, the market is not your friend, your enemy, or your casino. It is a system. And when you respect the system, you stop chasing. You start building. And slowly you stop losing. Let's begin. Part 1. The market is not crazy, it has rules. At first, the market looks confusing. One day, prices go up. The next day, they crash. A small piece of news makes people panic. Another small story makes prices fly. People say, the market is crazy. But here's the truth. The market is not crazy. It is emotional, because people are emotional. And emotions follow patterns. Let's look deeper. When more people want to buy something, the price goes up. When more people want to sell, the price goes down. That's not magic. That's basic supply and demand. And this rule never changes. Not in stocks, not in crypto, not in real estate. So why does it still feel so confusing? Because most people don't understand what they're really buying. They think they're buying a stock. But what they're really buying is a story. A story like, this company will be the next Apple. This coin will go to the moon. This stock will never fall. And what happens when people believe the same story? They buy. They share it online. The price goes up. More people join. The price goes up faster. But at some point someone asks, wait, is this really worth that much? And slowly people begin to sell. One person, then another. And soon fear grows. And just like hope made the price rise, fear makes it fall. That's not madness. That's human behavior. And it happens again and again. We see this in every market. The tech boom in 2000. The housing crash in 2008. Crypto spikes in 2017 and 2021. Always the same emotions. Always the same cycle. So if you're an investor, your job is not to fight the market. Your job is to understand it. To watch the waves and learn how to surf, not sink. The market has rules. But those rules are not just charts and numbers. They are psychology. They are cycles. They are timing. And the better you understand these rules, the less you will feel confused. You'll stop asking, why is this happening? And start saying, I see. This is part of the pattern. Because once you stop thinking the market is crazy, you begin to trust something deeper. Not the noise, not the hype, but the rhythm underneath. And when you learn that rhythm, you make better choices. You protect your money. You stop chasing stories. And you begin to invest like a pro. So the next time you hear someone say, the market makes no sense, smile gently, and remember, it makes sense. You just have to learn its language. Part 2. The market moves on emotion, not logic. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever bought something just because you were excited? A new phone, a pair of shoes, a course you never used. You didn't plan it. You just felt it. And later, maybe you said, "Why did I buy that?" That's emotion. And the market is full of it. You see, we often think the market is logical, numbers, charts, math. But really, the market moves with feelings. Fear, hope, greed, doubt. That's what pushes prices, not just company news or big headlines. Let's take an example. Imagine a company. It's doing okay. Not great, not bad. Then one famous investor tweets, "This company has big future." What happens? People get excited. They buy fast. The price goes up, not because the company changed, but because emotion changed. Now let's say next week, some small news comes out. One bad report. One rumor. And people get scared. They sell. The price drops, again, not because of real change, but because of fear. This happens all the time. Emotion is like the wind behind the market. It moves fast. It changes quickly. And if you don't see it, it can blow your money away. But here's the secret. If you can learn to see the emotions, you can protect yourself. You don't have to follow the crowd. You don't have to buy because others are excited. And you don't have to sell just because others are afraid. You can pause. You can ask, is this price about real value or just emotion? And that question alone can save you thousands. Many great investors don't win because they are the smartest. They win because they stay calm when others panic. They stay patient when others rush. Warren Buffett once said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." That means, watch the emotion and do the opposite. But to do that, you need self-control. You need to see through the noise. And you need to stop asking, "What does everyone else think?" And start asking, "What do I see clearly?" Because when emotion is high, logic is low. And in those moments, people lose money. So next time you see a big move, stop. Take a breath. Don't follow the emotion. Understand it. Step back. And wait for the storm to pass. The market will always move on emotion. But you don't have to. You can choose reason. You can choose patience. You can choose power. And that's how you stop being a follower and start becoming a real investor. Part 3. Patterns repeat. Learn them. Let me tell you a short story. A few years ago, a young investor bought a stock because he saw it on YouTube. The price was going up fast. Everyone said, "Buy now or miss out." So he bought it, not after research, just after excitement. 2 weeks later, the price dropped 40%. He sold, afraid of losing more. A few months after that, the price doubled. He felt angry, confused, and said, "Why does this always happen to me?" But it wasn't just him. It wasn't just that stock. This happens again and again because the market moves in patterns. What kind of patterns? Let's look at a simple one. Boom, hype, fear, crash, repeat. It starts with good news. Prices rise slowly. People begin to notice. Then hype starts, social media, news, friends saying, "This is the next big thing." That's when many people rush in. Prices rise fast. But the value? It stays the same. Then, something small happens. Maybe just a warning. A bad report. People get nervous. Some sell. Then more sell. Panic begins. And in just days or hours, the price crashes. People leave sad and scared. But slowly, quietly, the real investors come back. They buy when prices are low, and the pattern begins again. This is not magic. This is human behavior. And once you learn to see these patterns, you don't have to fear them. You don't chase the top. You don't sell in panic. You stay calm, because you know. This has happened before. It will happen again. Charts show it. History proves it. Whether it's tech stocks in 2000, housing in 2008, or crypto in 2021, the pattern is the same. But here's the thing. Most people don't study history. They only look at today. And that's why they make the same mistakes. So if you want to be different, be smarter, learn the patterns. Don't just watch the news. Study the past. Ask, when did this happen before? What did smart people do then? How can I prepare now? Patterns are like the weather. You can't stop the rain, but you can carry an umbrella. You can't stop a crash, but you can protect your money. You can wait. You can watch. And when the time is right, you can act with confidence, not fear. The market is not random. It's human. And humans repeat themselves. If you learn the rhythm, you don't panic. You plan. And that's how you move from guessing to growing. Part 4. Don't trade headlines, trade reality. Let's be honest. It's easy to get excited or scared by headlines. Every day, the news says something big. Market hits all-time high. Recession is coming. Tech stocks explode. War shakes global prices. And your heart starts to beat faster. You think, should I buy now? Should I sell everything? But wait, before you click that button, pause. Ask yourself, is this headline giving me truth or just noise? Because headlines don't always show reality. They show drama. They sell fear. Why? Because fear gets clicks. Excitement gets shares. But neither helps you make smart decisions. Let me tell you a quick story. Last year, there was a big headline. Oil prices will stay low forever. Many people read that and sold their oil stocks. But the smart investors? They looked at data, not drama. They studied the market. They saw demand coming back. They waited, and just 6 months later, oil prices were up 50%. See, the news said forever. But the reality changed, just like always. Here's something important to understand. Markets move ahead of the news. By the time a headline is big, most of the real move already happened. Smart money moves before the story breaks. So if you're following headlines, you're already late. Instead of reacting, start observing. Read company reports, not just tweets. Watch market trends, not just morning TV. Think long-term, not just today. Ask, what is the real value here? Will this matter in 6 months or just 6 hours? That's how great investors think. They don't panic with the crowd. They don't chase noise. They search for signal, the truth behind the story. And often that truth is quiet. It's in boring reports. It's in slow trends. But that's where the power is. Anyone can trade a headline. But only a real investor waits for reality. And when reality shows itself, not in words but in numbers, they act. So next time you see a big, loud headline, smile, breathe, and remember, the market is a story, but smart investing is research. Don't trade what people shout. Trade what you know. That's how you stop being emotional and start being effective. Part 5. Build a system, not a wish. A man once told me, I just want to buy low and sell high. That's my plan. I smiled and asked him, how will you know when it's low? Or when to sell? He said, I'll feel it. I'll know. But feelings are not a plan. And hope is not a strategy. This is the truth. If you want to win in investing, you need more than a dream. You need a system. Let me explain. A system is a set of clear rules that help you make decisions. It's like a map when you're lost. Or a checklist when you fly a plane. It keeps your brain calm, even when the market goes crazy. For example, here are simple system rules. I only buy companies I understand. I invest 10% of my income every month, no matter what. I sell only if my reason for buying changes. I don't follow the crowd. I follow my plan. These may sound small, but they protect you from big mistakes. When fear hits the market, most people panic. But with a system, you pause. You check your rules. And often the rule says, stay calm. Stay in. When greed hits and everyone buys fast, your system might say, slow down. Review the numbers. That's the power of having a system. It's like a strong umbrella in the middle of a storm. It doesn't stop the rain, but it keeps you dry. Let me tell you a quick story. A woman I know started investing after reading a book. But she didn't want to guess. So she made her own system. 70% in strong global stocks. 20% in local companies she believed in. 10% in cash always ready. She stuck to that plan through crashes, fear, and hype. Now, 10 years later, she's free. Not rich from luck. Rich from discipline. Most people don't fail because they're stupid. They fail because they don't have rules. They chase emotions. They follow friends. They act fast and regret faster. But a system slows you down. It gives you clarity. It turns chaos into structure. And the best part, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to follow your plan, not the news, not your mood. So here's your challenge. Write down your investment rules. Make them simple. Make them real. And most of all, stick to them. Because in the end, the market will test you. Not once, but again and again. And when that test comes, you don't want to answer with hope. You want to answer with a system. That's not just smart investing. That's strong living. Part 6. Know yourself before you buy anything. Let me tell you a little secret. The most important market to understand is not the stock market. It's your own mind. Before you study charts, news, or company reports, you need to study you. Why? Because your emotions make more decisions than your logic. And in investing, emotions can be expensive. Let's look at an example. Imagine this. You see a stock going up fast. Everyone's buying. Your phone keeps buzzing. Your heart beats faster. You think, if I don't buy now, I'll miss it. That feeling? It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. And it pushes many people to buy at the top and regret later. Or picture the opposite. The market crashes. Your portfolio turns red. You feel scared. You say, I should sell everything before I lose more. But maybe, just maybe, that's the worst time to sell. See the pattern? You are not just fighting the market. You are fighting your own reactions. Smart investors know this. That's why they take time to ask deep questions. What kind of investor am I? Am I okay with risk? Can I sleep well if the market drops 20%? Do I want fast profit or slow, steady growth? There's no wrong answer. But you need to be honest with yourself. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine copied a famous trader. He bought and sold every day. Fast moves. High pressure. But after 1 month, he looked tired and sad. I can't live like this, he said. He didn't fail because he was bad. He failed because he didn't match his style with his personality. Not everyone is made to be a trader. Not everyone wants to check charts every hour. And that's okay. Some people are patient. They love long-term investing. They like peace, not speed. Others enjoy action. They love risk. They can take the heat. But if you don't know who you are, you'll copy someone else. And their strategy might be your nightmare. So take time to know yourself. Try different styles slowly. See what fits your goals, your energy, your heart. Because when your investing style matches your nature, you feel calm, you feel clear, and you don't panic when things go wrong. That's the real power of self-knowledge. The best investors aren't just market experts. They are self-experts. So before your next trade, ask this. Am I doing this because it fits my plan or just my fear? Know the answer, and you'll know what to do. Part 7. Time in the market beats timing the market. When I first started investing, I thought I had to be smart, really smart. I tried to guess the best time to buy. I waited for the perfect moment. I said, not now, maybe tomorrow, or next week, when the price drops. But do you know what happened? I waited, and missed many chances. Later, I learned one important truth. No one can time the market perfectly. Not even the experts. Not every time. Not forever. You may get lucky once. But luck is not a plan. Smart investors don't try to guess the perfect time. They focus on something better. Time the market, not timing the market. Let me explain. Imagine 2 people, Anna and Ben. Anna starts investing early. She puts in $200 every month, slowly for 20 years. Sometimes the market is up. Sometimes it's down. But she doesn't stop. She just keeps going. Ben waits. He wants the right moment. He watches news, predictions, trends. Finally, after 5 years, he starts investing. But now he's late. And he missed 5 years of growth. Who wins? Anna does, even if she never bought at the perfect time. Why? Because time grows money. And the longer you stay in the market, the more your money works for you. This is called compound growth. Like planting a tree. It doesn't grow fast in one day. But give it water and years, and it becomes strong, big, and full of fruit. The stock market is like that. It rewards patience more than perfection. Now, some people fear losing money. They say, but what if the market crashes? Yes, it might. It always does sometimes. But history shows something powerful. The market goes up over the long term. So the real danger is not the crash. The danger is staying out too long. Let me give you another image. Investing is like catching a train. If you keep waiting for the perfect train, you might stay at the station forever. Sometimes it's better to jump on a good train and enjoy the ride. Here's the lesson. Start small. Start early. Stay long. Even if you don't pick the best stock. Even if you start with little money, time will do the magic. Because the secret is not in when you enter. The secret is in how long you stay. So if you're waiting for the right moment, maybe that moment is now. Not because it's perfect, but because you're ready to begin. And once you begin, let time become your quiet, loyal partner. Part 8. Don't follow the crowd, follow the data. I remember one morning, I opened my phone and saw the same stock on every social media page. It was everywhere on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. People were saying, "This stock is going to the moon. Buy it now or stay poor forever." It felt exciting. It felt like everyone knew something big. And I almost clicked buy. But then I paused. I asked myself, if everyone is shouting about it now, isn't it already too late? That day I didn't buy. 1 week later, that stock dropped more than 50%. Many people lost their money, and most of them didn't understand what they were buying. Here's the hard truth. The crowd is often loud, but not always right. In investing, popular doesn't mean smart. We humans love to belong. When we see many people doing something, we feel safer joining them. That's called herd behavior, and it's natural. But in the market, it's dangerous. Why? Because the market doesn't move on feelings. It moves on numbers. And if you only follow the crowd, you're often too late, or on the wrong side of the wave. Smart investors do something different. They follow the data, not the noise. That means, check the company's real earnings. A look at their long-term plan. Understand the risk. Think, would I still want this if no one talked about it? Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you're at a bakery. You see a long line. Everyone is buying a new cake. You think, it must be delicious. But when you try it, it's just okay. You only liked it because others did. That's how hype works. In investing, hype can make the price go up fast. But it can also crash just as fast. So instead of chasing excitement, look for value. Look for truth behind the trend. Ask questions like, why is this stock rising? Is there real growth or just talk? What are the risks that others don't see? And most important, make your own decisions. Use your own mind, your own logic, your own plan. Because the crowd might celebrate today, but they won't carry your losses tomorrow. You are the one investing your time, your energy, your money. So trust the numbers. Trust the process. Not just the noise. That's how you build confidence. That's how you stay strong when others panic. And that's how you protect your future. One wise choice at a time. Part 9. Losses are lessons if you learn from them. Let me tell you about one of my biggest investing mistakes. A few years ago, I bought a stock because I read some expert online say it would double in a month. I didn't check the company. I didn't understand what they did. I just saw the price rising and thought, this is easy money. For a week, it kept going up. I smiled. I felt smart. But then one day it dropped. Hard. And the next day it dropped again. In just a few weeks, I lost more than half of my money. It hurt. A lot. But you know what hurt more? I knew the truth. I didn't do my homework. I was angry at the market, at the stock, at that expert, but mostly at myself. That night, I sat down and asked, what did I learn from this? And slowly, that pain became a teacher. Here's what I realized. Everyone makes mistakes. Even the best investors lose sometimes. But what makes them great is not avoiding loss, it's learning from it. Blaming others doesn't help. The market didn't lie to me. I lied to myself. I wanted fast money, and I ignored the signs. You grow more from losing $100 with a lesson than winning $1,000 with luck. The truth is, loss is part of investing. You can't avoid it completely, but you can use it. Like a good coach, loss shows you what you missed. It tells you where your thinking was weak, and it gives you the chance to build better habits. I know it doesn't feel good when it happens. It feels like failure. But if you reflect, not react, loss becomes experience, and experience becomes wisdom. Since that day, I created a simple rule for myself. Before I buy anything, I must understand the company in 3 sentences. If I can't explain it simply, I don't invest. That one rule has saved me many times. So if you've made mistakes in the past, that's okay. Don't run away from them. Write them down. Study them. Ask yourself, what did I believe that was wrong? What will I do differently next time? How can I turn this into a step forward? Every investor you admire has lost money. But the great ones didn't stop. They just got smarter. And so can you. Remember, loss is not the end. It's just part of the path. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. And keep walking forward, with clearer eyes and a stronger heart. Part 10. Success takes time, but it's worth it. I used to think investing was fast. You buy a stock. It grows. You get rich. Easy, right? But real investing is not a sprint. It's a long walk. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's slow. And sometimes it feels like nothing is happening. In my early days, I often felt impatient. I would check my stocks 10 times a day. If the price didn't move, I got bored. If it went down, I felt nervous. And if it went up just a little, I wanted to sell and take the win. But over time, I saw something. The best growth came when I did nothing. Just waited. Let time do its work. Trusted the plan. It wasn't easy. Because we live in a world of fast things. Fast food. Fast news. Fast fun. But in investing, slow is strong. Think of a tree. It doesn't grow in a week. It needs years of sun, rain, wind, and waiting. But when it grows, it's solid. It gives shade, fruit, and peace. Good investments are like that. They may move slowly at first. But if they're strong inside, they will grow and keep growing. The key is patience. Not blind patience, but smart patience. This means, you know why you bought the asset. You believe in its long-term value. You ignore the small ups and downs. You focus on the big picture. There's a famous quote from Warren Buffett. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. And I've seen this truth again and again. Many people quit too early. They sell when they feel scared. Or they jump from one idea to another, always chasing the next big thing. But true success? It comes when you stay. You stay through boredom. You stay through doubt. You stay because you believe in the journey, not just the results. And one day, without loud noise or big headlines, you look at your portfolio and see growth. Not just in your money, but in your thinking, your patience, your peace. So if you're feeling tired, or like it's not working fast enough, breathe, step back, and remember, slow success is still success. In fact, it's the kind that lasts. So walk steady, check your emotions, hold your vision, and trust that each small step, each smart choice, each quiet day, is building something beautiful, something worth the wait. Mastering the market starts inside you. When we think about winning in investing, we often think about numbers, price charts, profits, news headlines. But after this journey, I hope you see something deeper. The biggest challenge is not the market. It's your mind. In part 1, we started with a truth many ignore. If you don't control your emotions will control your decisions. Greed, fear, impatience, they don't show up on the charts. But they can destroy your gains faster than any market crash. Then we looked at the power of self-awareness. The better you know your triggers, your habits, and your weak points, the stronger your decisions become. You can't fight what you don't see. But once you see it, you can change it. We explored the importance of slowing down in a world that moves fast. Because smart investing is not about doing more. It's about doing less but doing it better. We talked about discipline, not just as a hard rule, but as a daily practice. Saying no to fast pleasure. Saying yes to long-term peace. It's not always fun, but it's always worth it. We walked through losses, and how they're not the end. They're your greatest teachers. If you listen, if you reflect, every mistake holds a lesson, and every lesson makes you wiser. We touched on patience, the skill that sounds simple but feels hard. When others rush, jump, panic, you breathe, you wait, you remember, real wealth takes time. And in every part of this podcast, one message returned again and again. You are the most important part of your investment strategy. Not the stock, not the chart, not the news. You, your mind, your choices, your calm. Because the truth is, markets rise and fall. But if you train your thinking, if you grow your awareness, if you sharpen your emotional discipline, you will not only survive the chaos, you will lead yourself through it. So today, maybe ask yourself one last question. Thought balloon, do I want to chase wins or build strength? Because wins may come and go. But strength? Strength stays. You now have 10 parts of reflection, insight, and practice. Not just to help you invest smarter, but to live more wisely, more calmly, more intentionally. So keep learning, keep growing. Not just your portfolio, but your peace. Remember, you're not just investing in the market, you're investing in you. And that's the best investment of all.